TIFU I killed the best relationship in my life because she complimented me. So I was in my early 20s, been seeing this girl for a few months. Our sexual chemistry was on point, we enjoyed each other's company immensely, but timing was just off as we both had plans of relocation that were set in motion before we met. So we stayed as FWB. So there we were one night laying in bed in post-coitus bliss. After what was probably the best sex we have ever had. Our breaths still heavy, she seemed more coquettish than her usual self. Snuggling her body close to me in a tight embrace, she softly told me that I'm the only man for her and she wanted our relationship to be exclusive from that moment on. Assuming my charm and sexual prowess brought about this turn of events, I was beaming with confidence, my ego stoked by my apparent ascendancy to near sex god status in what I imagine being one of my most effortless, cool and devilishly masculine moments. I replied, to what do I owe this honor? She proceeded to regale details of her weekend escapade, a girls' night out with her old sorority sisters where the night ended with her drunk out of her face hooking up with this French Algerian guy. Then she described the shock and horror when his penis inevitably made its debut. Apparently it was 12 inches long and thicker than a Coke can. She said she was frightened by it, that it looked like a torture instrument that would tear her apart. Apparently the mood soured soon after that, and he left her place awkwardly. Now I pack a standard issue 6-incher with some room for expansion depending on my level of arousal. Never had any complaints from previous partners, which by then was a significant number. There never was any reason for me to second guess my sexual abilities. I did have an acute awareness of being a grower and not a shower, buying into the porn skewered reality that bigger is better. Whatever latent insecurities I had was magnified and put on display. My breaking point came as these words uttered from her lips. I kid you not, he was probably twice as big as yours. It carved deep into my consciousness with animated violence, overwhelming me with feelings of inadequacies, clouding my ability to control my most basic faculties. She then said something about how much she anticipated my visit and how she thinks she is falling for me, blah blah blah. She ended her confession by teasingly going down on me, kissing my flaccid cock, telling it this is all I will ever need. I don't think I have ever felt so small in my life. I got out of bed, got dressed in abject silence, and just left the room without saying a word. This of course left her in a state of confusion. I never called her again and blocked her on all my social media accounts. I spent the next few days at home in crippling depression, wallowing in self-pity, rejection, and inadequacies. Thinking back, now a far more secured man in my 30s, I often second guess my reaction. Was I being an insecure drama queen? There I was, just had the most amazing sex in my life. This gorgeous girl I really liked was pouring her heart out, praising the superiority of my average sized member whilst professing her love for me. Yet the only image in my head is her staring with wide eyes at the sheer size of his monster darn. Once the image got stuck in my bead, my ego blinded by the green-eyed monster, there was no turning back. TL. Doctor may have missed out on the best relationship in my life due to my insecurities. When a girl is pouring her heart out to you with a comparison of another dick she was playing with a few days ago, yeah, that's about time to get dressed and leave. La la lil, imagine being in bed with her and telling her all about the less adequate girl you'd slept with on your way over. Nope nope nope. No one likes being compared to previous partners. That's some very ignorant pillow talk on her part. I don't have any interest in hearing about my partner's previous sexual adventures. Them talking about it makes me feel like they are definitely comparing me to them. I know they are, but they don't gotta talk about it. Ignorance is bliss, whether we like that or not. Think of it this way. What if you had told her that you loved her, even though she wasn't as beautiful as another woman you had a date with last weekend? I was so intimidated by another's beauty / big dick / impressive attribute that I left them and would rather have someone average like you. Apostrophe. Fuck that. I absolutely understand the insecurities you had. I myself have the same insecurities. But that you ducked up so hard because of it. It would have probably hit me the same it hit you. I really feel bad for you how your whole relationship ended just like this. It also intensified my own insecurities a bit while reading this. On the other hand, this helps me. As strange as this sounds, I think this post can help me with my insecurities, even if it's just a bit. So I thank you for sharing this. I'm glad it helps you. This messed me up for a few years. I pretty much exclusively engaged in ons for the next few years. We are often trapped in a prison we constructed for ourselves. I choose to interpret the events that transpired that night as an overreaction on my part for my own sanity. I know a lot of guys face the same shit. Maybe not so brutally delivered, but I hope that by sharing my experience, it could save someone else from getting consumed by their insecurities. Something I really don't get is why people think big dicks are good. They ducking hurt. Like it feels like some dudes just decided on day that big dicks are good and now bully other men about it. There's a veritable mythos of wiener, and plenty of discussion is had about length, girth, shape, and other relevant features. These discussions often go without the consult of a penis appreciating party, which doesn't help matters. Personally, I think it would have been nice to just tell her why, just so she doesn't make that mistake again, because she might literally have had no idea what she had done. I've definitely said some things that I didn't exactly mean, and people took out of context, but still I don't blame you. Like, come on. Everyone knows that men believe their penis size matters a lot to them, and the fact that she said that after you guys had sex, it's like you're nothing. That's what I was thinking too. To ghost a girl you've been seeing for a few months right after she poured her heart out must have been really rough from her perspective. Many women don't understand how sensitive us guys are when it comes to our penises. But that lack of understanding doesn't justify failing to treat this woman with respect. She deserved at least an explanation. Even if telling the truth was hard in that moment, yeah, she did deserve some direct communication. But as a woman, I hope I'd be able to put two and two together if I were in her position in that story. I feel like it's 100% clear that he immediately took issue with her telling a story about trying to bed a man with a massive dick, and that after hearing the story he decided to leave and never speak to her again. Bro, she had the goofiest reason for an exclusive relationship. Oh, your penis is cool and works for me. Why trip over her? I had to scroll way too far for this. Being objectified sucks, and it's a shitty basis for a relationship. If someone said they wanted to date me because they loved my knockers, yeah, nah, and that's even if they didn't compare them to someone else's. Sound like someone just wanted to write their sexual fantasies. I feel you. I don't take any comments about my dick well. A chick said I had the length, but not enough girth. Another said her boyfriend's hurt compared to mine. I was in my 20s and remember those comments vividly. For me, whatever feelings I had for them instantly dissipated. I'm 31 now and still don't wanna hear bullshit like that. I've never commented on a girl's tightness, tits or ass size, especially while she's naked, so I don't need to hear that shit. It's not about insecurities, but more so a lack of respect. There you are, bare, vulnerable and as intimate as can be, getting judged. She had great big boobs, probably twice as big as yours. I don't need that though. Yours are all I'll ever need. She had a great big IQ, probably twice as big as yours. I don't need that though. Yours is all I'll ever need. She had a great big bank account, probably twice as, yeah, that's not a compliment. Her talking about getting drunk, making out with a stranger, seeing his penis, then comparing it to yours, is ducking weird. Forget the insecurity thing. It sounds like you potentially dodged getting herpes down the road. Herpes isn't even a big deal. A huge percentage of the population has it. Ever had a cold sore? You have herpes. Not genital herpes. But it's possible to give someone genital herpes through oral sex. The grass is always greener on the other side. It cold been good. Maybe, but people's flaws are invisible or yet to be revealed until you live with them or see them many days per week. It cold been good or standard or terrible. It happens. Some people can't talk about those things. Some can. I'm one that can and have never minded talking about previous partners and sex experiences with partners. When it comes to Mr. Giant hookup guy, wouldn't want a big dick like that, so when someone tells me about a large partner, it's no big deal. I like my size. I'm not big. I'm not small. Baby, I'm comfortable. Lol. I know guys in their late 30s that still have an issue even thinking their partner has ever had sex with someone else. It's like, dude, come on. She got to get her jollies off too. You aren't the only man in the world. Did you ever try to make contact again after that situation? Or is it one of those things where it's been so long it would be weird? Here she was thinking she could trust you and bear her feelings completely. RIP. I guess she won't make that mistake again. She was young and expressed herself honestly. You are correct in your new understanding of the situation. That being said, your original reaction wasn't exactly unfair either. Although completely blocking her and such seemed a bit much. Meh. Chalk it up to you both being young and immature and move on. I remember an ex telling me a similar story, but not as scarring. She said her previous BF was longer, but that I was thicker and she preferred mine. That immediately turned into her lying about preferring mine, and it took a few days for me to get over. Imagine calling a 6-inch small. Couldn't be me. But seriously, when you're below average like me, you're doing fine, man. You were likely too immature for the relationship. It's over, stop thinking about it. One hopes by the time you reach your mid to later 20s or your 30s you've stopped making comparisons. It's strange to me that either before, during, or after an intimidate moment anyone brings up a third person, even if it's to awkwardly compliment your partner. To me it's like your mind is on someone else rather than the person in front of you. Some of the comments here though, you guys should be doing okay because your sense of humor is hysterical. I had a similar experience. Had been dating a woman for a couple years. Everything was awesome. During a trip away I was using her phone because mine had no service. A text came in from her friend. "How's your boyfriend's little penis?" Apostrophe. Taken back, I confronted her and asked what it was all about. For the record, I'm a regular run-of-the-mill 6-incher. She confessed that her previous BF was 8 feet and told all her friends how much smaller I was in comparison. We split up shortly after. She wanted to get back together and said I was the one. But I couldn't do it. Met my awesome wife shortly after and we are now expecting our second wonderful baby. No regrets. Edit. Her friend was a dude. Were you stupid for reacting like that? Yes. Was she stupid for wording it like that? Also yes. Hot take. Women shouldn't comment on dick sizes. Hot take. We shouldn't make men think that their self-worth is dependent on dick size. Nope. I'm a straight woman and I definitely do not blame you at all. If a man compared me to a past hookup like that I would expect him to get the hell out of my bed. Lol. I don't even blame you for the ghosting. I likely would do the same in your situation. Hot take. There is such a thing as too big. And I don't think she was insulting you. The way that size competitions are beaten into us is extremely unhealthy. Big dicks, big tits, big ass, small waist, bulging muscles, etc etc. How very superficial and exhausting. Let's leave that shit behind. Yeah man, I'm here to tell you my entire soul would crash through the floor if someone said that to me. Don't even care it was meant as a compliment. Yikes. I was about to comment that this was 100% her backup instead of yours, but IDK man. Ghosting her over that wasn't ideal. What she said would have made many men uncomfortable. For sure. And getting up and leaving in that moment is a fair reaction. Blocking her, in my opinion, is a step too far. So, I guess the down low is you didn't miss out on the best relationship of your life because you were very clearly ill-matched. Well, I definitely could have handled it better. But hindsight is 20/20 and we all have past regrets we wish we acted in a different way. Anyway, thanks for the fair commentary. I can't tell if you've accidentally mangled the idiom hindsight is 20/20 or if people are just too angry about this dumpster fire of a year to use the idiom properly anymore. But either way this brought a smile to my face. But yeah, exactly. Regrets are pointless. You acted in a way that felt appropriate at the time and now you're someone else. Now you're free to find a much better match. Good luck. I interpret this as kind of sweet. She was saying that she had a chance at a penis that porn and society would tell you is an upgrade and found that it is nonsense. Everybody fits somebody and that dude was not a fit. She may have expressed herself poorly, but it sounds like she was trying to say that she believed you fit together on both a physical and a spiritual level. You had a chance at a relationship with someone you were obviously into, and you pulled the trick of every Hollywood rom-com screenwriter by taking offense, walking out and at no point asking any questions, or having an open and honest conversation. She definitely expressed herself poorly, but I think due to insecurities and the folly of youth, you may have read the situation as being an insult to your masculinity as opposed to a girl essentially telling you that she loves you. Yeah, I agree. I've heard this from tons of female friends. That a guy being too big can be painful and annoying and has no basis on his actual ability to pleasure a woman. Like, penetration isn't what makes women orgasm, clit stimulation does. But at the same time, why did she put her foot in her mouth? Why TF are you negging your favorite guy? If you like his dick, just say his dick is perfect. Personally, I feel like every guy is self-conscious about his dick, and every girl is self-conscious about her breasts. When you have sex with someone, don't try to unpack all that, just compliment and reaffirm them. You don't need to be a porn star to have a perfect dick. She did the TIFU, not op. If this was enough to get y'all to split, then it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway. Besides, there is no one. There are just people that are compatible with each other. I'm really pining for my ex right now, but I know there are others out there that can fulfill that same need. I think if it was all that, then yes, you ducked up. This all seems so petty and pointless. I mean, we all have our insecurities, but you threw the baby out with the bathwater over something pretty inconsequential. She probably shouldn't have said that shit, but to go and throw the whole relationship away over one moment of insecurity from a previous sexual interaction seems a little childish. Maybe it's time to reach out. Points for this being well written though. Holy shit, bro. Yeah, I think you ducked up pretty hard. I'm glad you shared the story though, because just like you, I'm stuck thinking that bigger is better. Fortunately, my dad taught me that it's best to joke about having a small penis instead of a big one. That way it's literally impossible to disappoint anyone. So I'm used to making small dick jokes and can't imagine getting so upset about being told that my Peter is satisfyingly small. Oh baby, so there I am. 2 cocks on my hand. 1 in my ass, 2 in my vag. 3 in my mouth. Literally drenched in cum from the bukkake. Thinking to myself that all of this cock is gonna turn me into mincemeat. And I thought to myself, let's get married. Lol. She went about it the completely wrong way, but I can see where she was coming from. I think she was attempting to express that she prefers an average sized dick and was trying to make you feel better about yours. That's how I feel when it comes to dick size. Average is much better than huge. But she did it completely wrong and never should have compared you to anyone else. Still, it sucks. I feel like it was more of misunderstanding and awkwardness / social inability on her part rather than malice. I wonder how many hours you spent whilst spending deep cold winter nights surfing the frenzies of thesaurus to detach a rich, luxurious and exotic write-up from the ink derived from finest pigments bundled in an exquisite plastic casing. I don't think there's anything to regret or feel bad about. I would never, ever tell a story like that, or in that way, to a potential life partner. Especially not in that situation. It also sounds like the only thing binding your relationship, and the only rationale for exclusivity in your story, was sex. Sex is important to a healthy relationship. But when it's the basis of a relationship, it rarely ends well. You probably dodged a bullet. Edit. Now that I've read your post again, it's honestly filled with red flags. You did the right thing, Opus. I'm not sure what brought you to dwell on it, but that part of your life is definitely better left in the past. She just told you she was with another guy a few days ago and is settling for you. I'm gonna count this up for youth and stupidity, and maybe she was drunk again. I can't imagine saying this to a guy. She made some poor choices. With her unbelievable lack of tact, I suspect things would have come to a head sooner rather than later, regardless of whether you noped out that night. Your reaction is normal. Some girls say things like that, not realizing how tone deaf it is. If the shoe were on the other foot, she would most likely been crushed. Some people don't have that situational empathy. You dodged a bullet, because in the end you would just been a consolation prize. I'm a woman in my early 20s, and I would never talk to someone like this. Man or woman? She's either dumb, insensitive or both. You dodged a bullet. If a man ever said, I was with this girl, hot boobs were twice as big as yours, it dip real fast too. IDK, why so many of these idiots are saying you dodged a bullet or are blaming her? She was honest and said absolutely nothing wrong. She was your FWB. The only reason she was with you was because she enjoyed having sex with you. I imagine that if this was your girlfriend or wife and she compared your size to some previous partner and say this is all I need, it would be a huge red flag, because it could definitely give you the impression that she only settled for you for different reasons. Maybe you're more financially secure, kind, etc. But here's a girl only there for sex and saying that your penis is perfect for her. So perfect in fact that she's willing to have it exclusively when she is under absolutely no compulsion to. She wanted to have sex with you for the rest of her life. She was satisfied by you and was embracing you tightly, telling you how she didn't even think of touching a penis bigger than you because she liked yours. You didn't dodge a bullet. You missed a great opportunity to spend life with someone you had great chemistry with. In my opinion, it might have worked out better if instead of blocking her, you told her how you were feeling. She probably thinks you didn't feel the same about her and has no idea it was the dick comment that did it. If you enjoy watching these videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like this video. Thanks.